June 7th, 1944, 5:12 a.m. Off the coast of Arromanches-les-Bains, Normandy. The sea is still restless, bruised from yesterday's violence. Gray waves slap against twisted steel and drifting wreckage, carrying the smell of cordite, oil, and wet rope. A German artillery observer, Oberleutnant Karl Wegener, lowers his binoculars for a moment and wipes salt from the lenses with a gloved thumb. The cold bites. The sky is low and metallic. Nothing about this morning feels victorious. Along the shoreline, the scars of the Allied landings are everywhere. Burned-out landing craft, bodies tangled in seaweed, smoke columns rising where the beach defenses were smashed apart. Wegener has seen invasions before, at least on maps, in staff exercises, in confident briefings filled with arrows and assumptions. This one was supposed to fail. That was the certainty. He raises the binoculars again. Something is wrong. Out on the water, shapes are moving that shouldn't be there. Not ships advancing in formation. Not the cautious withdrawal of damaged craft. These are hulks, dark, blocky silhouettes being pushed, nudged, aligned. Some look like freighters, riding too low, their decks awash. Others resemble massive concrete slabs, square and unnatural, as if a city block had torn itself free and floated into the channel. Wegener leans forward. You can almost feel his confusion tightening. The Kriegsmarine officers had said the same thing for years. The Allies cannot sustain an invasion. Not here, not Acre. By the afternoon of June 7th, 1944, the German command structure along the Norman coast is drowning in reports that don't make sense. At Panzergruppe West headquarters, field telephones crackle non-stop. Officers bend over maps, littered with greased pencil marks. Red arrows for Allied advances. Blue blocks for German positions that are already outdated. A staff major reads aloud yet another coastal observation summary, his voice flattening as if monotone might make the words less dangerous. Enemy has established artificial harbor elements. Ongoing assembly. Artificial harbor. The phrase hangs in the room, absurd and threatening all at once. For years, German planners had leaned on a single, elegant assumption. Ports were fixed targets. Capture them or destroy them. That was the equation. Cherbourg, Le Havre, Brest, names that appeared again and again in war plans. Normandy, by contrast, had been judged unsuitable for sustained logistics. Too exposed, too shallow, too dependent on weather. The English Channel itself was supposed to be the final ally of the Reich, violent, unpredictable, unforgiving. Now the Channel is being tamed. On the cliffs near Arromanches, Oberleutnant Wegener watches the tide cycle for the second time since dawn. The sea rises. The floating roadways rise with it. The sea falls. They settle gently, still connected, still usable. It is an engineer's answer to nature itself. He spots movement behind the breakwater ships, unloading directly into the sheltered June 19th, 1944. Just after midnight, the English Channel, the wind arrives first. It slips in low and steady, rattling signal flags and humming through steel cables. On Allied ships anchored off Normandy, sailors feel the decks begin to roll in a way that doesn't match the tide tables. Barometers dip. The sky presses down, heavy and airless, as if holding its breath. By dawn, the channel is no longer undecided. Waves build fast, short, steep, vicious. They slam into the mulberry structures again and again, testing every joint, every weld, every assumption made on drafting tables months earlier. The floating roadways begin to buck, like living things. Steel groans. Chains snap taut, then slacken, then strain again. You can almost hear the engineers whispering silent prayers. This storm is not supposed to happen. Not now, not like this. For 3 days, the gale refuses to move on. Winds scream at near hurricane force. Seas climb higher than any planner had dared to model. The channel, usually violent but predictable, turns feral. Ships tear free of their moorings. Pontoons break loose and vanish into whitewater. Concrete caissons, each weighing thousands of tons, shift, tilt, some cracking under stresses they were never meant to endure. At Mulberry A, off Omaha Beach, disaster unfolds. American engineers fight to save what they can, working in darkness and spray, soaked to the bone, hands numb, as they try to secure sections of roadway that are already tearing themselves apart. Early July, 1944. Normandy. Under a sun that finally feels like summer. The hedgerows are thick, claustrophobic, and soaked in the metallic smell of war. Tanks idle in narrow lanes, engines rumbling impatiently. Infantrymen crouch in the shade, helmets tilted back, sweat cutting clean lines through dust on their faces. Somewhere behind them, unseen but never unfelt, the port at Arromanches keeps working, day and night. By now, the Mulberry Harbor is no longer a novelty whispered about in German reports. It is a machine, a rhythm. Every hour, ships slide into the sheltered water behind the breakwater. Every hour, floating roads pulse with movement trucks rolling shoreward, empty trailers heading back out, an endless circulation of material that turns beaches into arteries. You don't see the harbor from the front lines, but you feel it. British and Canadian units attacking towards Seine notice that their artillery never seems to run dry. American forces pushing south from Omaha, now supplied over beaches and captured small ports, benefit indirectly from the logistical avalanche the Mulberry helped unleash. The invasion has mass now, and mass creates options. German commanders feel the same truth from the opposite side. Field Marshal Erwin Rommel, returning from inspections along the coast, understands what this means with brutal clarity. He has always believed that the invasion must be defeated at the shoreline. Once the Allies establish themselves and bring in their strength. The August 1944. Normandy's coast is quieter now. The guns have moved east. The sky, once crowded with contrails and bombers, feels strangely open. At Arromanches, the Mulberry Harbor still stands scarred, rusted, patched together by months of hard use. Parts of it are already obsolete. New ports have been captured. Supply routes now snake deep into liberated France. Yet German officers, who once watched this coastline, cannot forget what happened here. Some of them are prisoners now, sitting in Allied cages, smoking cigarettes offered by their captors. Others are retreating toward the Seine, burning maps, destroying radios, trying to slow a collapse that feels geological rather than military. A few are dead, buried somewhere between hedgerows and shattered villages. But those who remain alive share the same realization. They lost Normandy before they lost Normandy. Captured documents and post-war interrogations will later reveal the truth at dawn too late. German intelligence never fully grasped the scale of the Mulberry Project before D-Day. Aerial reconnaissance photos had shown strange concrete shapes along British rivers, unusual ship movements, odd exercises. Analysts dismissed them as defensive works or deception. No one imagined an invasion force so confident it would build its own port in enemy waters. In hindsight, German naval officers admit it plainly. Had they known, had they believed, priorities might have shifted. Artillery might have been redeployed, air assets C.